what's up? So I'm finally back with Mars in the second house, but don't you worry at all. I will be posting pretty much every day unless I can for some particular reason, okay? Or let's just put it this way. I'm going to be posting way more frequently, and we're going to get this Synastry stuff caught on up, and we're going to keep moving right along. Anyways, moving right along. We're here at Mars in the second house Synastry. Now, this particular Synastry aspects, I want to highlight the fact that this is very physical in nature and is more centered around what the couple can gain. And oftentimes, the couple gains from being involved with each other. They can gain, they can lose at the same time. Or when they break up, you will see more of a physical component to, like, maybe competing for, fighting over property. Okay, this is one of the houses that you see this in. The 8th house can also be another house that you see this particular Synastry component play out in the way that it does. Okay, a few houses when you're dealing with relationships and partnerships and stuff like that is centered on and around property and money making and stuff like that. Now the second house is definitely one of those houses because here we have the assets, we have monetary gain because we're talking about the value of something. Okay, now the good thing is Mars in the second house Synastry, this type of couple is the type of couple you see to where they are really invested into one another. And people around them can look and tell and see, especially when they start getting a little bit deeper with the couple. Because this right here, this type of couple, like, you may see them and you may be like, not with everybody. It depends on what the Synastry and what other aspects that you have going on. But you can easily see them and be like, hey, why are they interested in each other? Like, what makes them want to come together and be together in a relationship? But then when you start going a little bit deeper, you go to their home, you see what they're working on, you start seeing they have children together, you start seeing that they may share a lot of the same common core values, okay? You're going to find that in the second house. You can also find that in the 9th house. All right? And then you start being like, oh, this makes sense. Like, y'all's lives fit together. Now, this is where we throw in the twist. Because this is where we throw in the twist. And because we have Mars here as well. So, before I go there. So, yes, you will see this couple and you might be like, man, they're like the type of couple that has property. They can share bills. Depending on who's a Mars person, depending on who's a house person. Okay? Because the house... Now, while those are great aspects, okay, and you have to understand, the Mars person will often compete to get the house person. And if they don't have to compete, the house person, the Mars person, both of these, either one of these individuals can kind of see each other as, okay, no, that's the person that I want. And they feel like the person that they got, that's the best. Like, out of the choices that they had to choose from, it's like, no, that's the one I want. That's the valuable one, And it can be very hard. Anybody that's trying to compete for these two individuals or compete to take the attention away if let's say there's a third party that's like trying to compete to take the attention away from either one of these individuals off of each other, it could be very hard for them to do. Even if they messed around with this other person, it could be very hard to just say for one of the people in the couple to say, okay, I'm just completely done with you because I find this other person valuable. It could be very hard because they've invested a lot in each other. They see each other as like, you are worth my energy and my time to me. That's what Mars could be saying. Like, imagine Mars being like the feminine. Okay. This, even though this particular feminine person may not usually be the person that's chasing and doing all that, like you could usually get chased. You could even be rather calm in situations where there's a masculine involved. You might be like, okay, I'm going to make them come after me. You could find yourself, when your Mars is hitting somebody else's second house, even if they are the male, you could find yourself kind of like wanting to prove yourself to this person. You could find yourself like throwing yourself into the competition, but at the same time, it's kind of like one of those things to where you know already, like you got what the second house person is looking for. So you already know in lots of ways that you can win. But the problem is when Mars is like, yeah, but I want more. I want even more attention. I want even more money being spent on me. And the house person is like, well, shoot, I'm giving you what I got. Because think about it. It's kind of like the Mars person ends up getting greedy some kind of way. Because the house person is already like, the house person is kind of like already willing to give to the Mars person. Okay? The house person, because remember, the house person sees, it's an investment house, and this house person sees that the Mars person is valuable. It even could depend on what the Mars person does, how they do it. The house person can be like, okay, well, this is a valuable person for me. So especially in work-related situations, you can see this play out very well, because it's kind of like a give situation, unless one starts taking more. Like I said, the house person is already willing to give. So what ends up happening is the house person is like, well, dang, like how much, like feels like the Mars person is wanting things from them, and they're not giving them time to develop the money or to make what the Mars person wants to happen, and the second house person is kind of like, well, dang, like when is you got to give me the time to produce this money? You got to give me the time, because remember, the second house ruled by Taurus. This is more like a stubborn house. This is more like being consistent. These two people together could want early on some type of marriage or commitment, and like if the one person ain't willing to give it, then that makes the other person be like, okay, well, maybe you don't know my worth. I'm going elsewhere. Especially with Mars there. It's going to want to push things along. Now, the thing about it, though, these two coming together, there is longevity with these two being together. And this is why, if I was to give some sort of warning, which is, hey, I'm not going to... Listen, this is why you need to get a personal chart read by me. Okay? Whether it's Synastry or just whether it's your own chart. Because I have time to just go through different scenarios for you that represent you personally to your chart. Here, I will be talking for a very long time, and I'm not willing to do that. Okay? I will break the videos up. It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. There's different ways. So just keep that in mind. There's different ways that this can just keep going on, different scenarios of how this Synastry plays out. Yeah. So if I was to give some sort of warning, is when this connecting with someone with the Mars in the second house, or your Mars falling in someone's second house, try to take things slower than what you would usually do, because with Mars here is going to want to push things along. Second house is stubborn. Okay? So you can find a push, pull effect to the relationship, a start, stop, slow down. I don't know if I'm right. That type of thing that happens, but there's a lot of times where that doesn't happen, and you guys just come together, and then you start investing in each other, you start living together, you start pulling together assets, whatever. And then it binds you together, and when it's time to split up, it's very hard to do, because each person knows that the other person may really take them for a run for their money and take them for everything they got. They're going to definitely want half, even more. And so this is the type of relationship where, yes, you are very successful with coming together, but at the same time, when things go wrong, they can go really, really wrong. People underestimate Mars. Mars is the war planet. Mars will fight you for what it wants. Okay. And because Mars has activated the second house will fight you for what it wants and what it doesn't want you to take as well. Vice versa here. So very good in Synastry. Don't get me wrong. And it's very physical too. These people can definitely, and when I say physical, I mean physical. Like things like eating together, sexual desires are activated, and each individual gets aroused by what they have together, what they can accumulate together, physical things, even if they never had their eye on the physicality of things before. And these two together, could definitely be very practical, and that is why they're in reserved with each other. Like they could be into a whole lot of freaky stuff, but you will never know it because it's not something they try to advertise. A lot of people wouldn't even possibly see it off of this couple unless there's other synastry aspects that's highlighting that for them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So this has been Mars in second house synastry. Keep posted because I will be doing and dropping more videos. All right. Okay. So, and also subscribe to my channel, and I will be back. Peace.